Hi there, and welcome to Uni Scenario Building Part 1. My name is Danielle. I will be your guide for today. If at any time you want to take a break, please feel free to pause your session or build a scenario. So let's get started. The topics we're going to be discussing today are live and recorded webinar resources that are available to you 24/7, creating anywhere, anytime. So that means you can build at your own desk if you like, and at midnight or 3 in the morning, whatever it takes and whatever you need to do to create your scenarios. And the first topic in our scenario building is palette items. How to create a palette, and they are the building blocks for any scenario out there. Topic 1, live and recorded resources. Gaumard has many live webinars available to you. They have various dates and times spread out across all the months of the year. If you have any specific group or a larger group that you would like to have your own private webinar, just let us know, and we're happy to try to accommodate your needs the best we can. And so some of the samples that we have are Introduction to Uni Software, Scenario Building, Advanced Scenario Building. So do that after you get a good handle on the basic palettes and building a linear scenario. And then we've got labor scenarios, working with your Gaumard simulator, and then we have various high fidelity simulators, electrical therapy, and simulator care and maintenance. Care and maintenance is actually a really good one to do, and we'll give you lots of tips and tricks to keep your scenario or your simulator clean. Gaumard also offers webinars, virtual events, and trade shows. The website access is on the screen. We have many different topics available, from pure different strategies to improving healthcare through simulation, to designing a simulation center from the ground up, and many, many other topics. And a few of them are actually Canadian driven. So if you do have a topic that you ever like to present, then let us know. We'd be happy to get you set up and promoted. Topic 2, creating anywhere. So Uni is a fantastic piece of software that you can download onto pretty much any PC out there. All you require is Windows 7, Intel Core i3, and 4 gigabytes of RAM. I don't know many computers that don't have those things in them anymore. So all you would have to do is go to the Gaumard website and download your Uni. And that is it. Well, not all of it. You have to go ahead and select the simulators that you actually have, and we put some of the conversions on the side of the screen there. So HAL S3201, Pediatric HAL S2225, Suzy, and the new Noels are on there as well. But if you're interested in ever learning about a new simulator, then you can go ahead and download that software as well, just for fun. Topic 3, palette items. And this is probably what you're really here for. So before you even start building a scenario, one of the things that you 100% need to do is have a written plan. Write a scenario out. Write it out so that you know whether or not it's going to be a linear or branched. Know how you're going to be facilitating that scenario. Will it be 100% pre-programmed? Will you make on-the-fly changes sometimes? And do you know the features of your simulator? Because there's sometimes some really interesting things that your simulator can do that you can pre-program into it instead of just the basic vital signs. So have all of that written down before you go, and then build. It'll make your scenario building a lot easier. So the first thing you're going to do, of course, open up Uni and go to the screen that shows where the palettes are. The palette toolbar is located on the gray bar, almost third from the left. Go ahead and click on that. Now, in here, I personally like to build my first palette for any particular scenario directly from the healthy resting normal vitals. And the reason I like to do that is pretty much everything that I could ever want is sitting right there, and I don't have to add anything extra to it. And then as you're building your palettes after that, you're going to be selecting the first one that you chose, not the healthy resting one. So go ahead, click on healthy resting normal vitals and select edit. So now that you have hit the edit button, the details window pops up. And since you have the detail windows up, you'll see in red all of the vital signs that you might be able to change. Some of these things will actually impact your simulator, and some of them are just for the virtual monitor. Some of them are just for you, so you kind of have an idea of what goes on. If you have a system that you do not need at all, you can go ahead and click the X button and get rid of that complete system from your scenario. Or if there's too much information for whatever scenario you're running, you can go ahead and click the X button. Now, if you ever want to get information back into this healthy resting vitals or that beginning scenario, all you have to do is click on an item right in the window on the left-hand side. Click on anything and it'll automatically bring it over into your details screen. After you've made all the changes that you would like to make on the details pop-up, go ahead and click the Save button in the center top of the details window. After you click Save, you're going to get another pop-up window that says palette item name, and you're going to want to change the palette item name to whatever scenario you're going to be building, something that makes sense to you. If you are building multiple palettes for scenarios, consider adding like a 1, 2, 3 or ABC and labeling all the palettes kind of the same. That way, when you're building your scenario, it makes it a little bit easier to find them and actually connect them all together. The other next thing to do is select the color or the level of acuity for your palette. So if it's a healthy palette, go ahead and click green. If they just need a little bit of care, go ahead and click yellow. If they're critical, red. If there's something else that doesn't fit these criteria, go ahead and click blue. After that, go ahead and hit save. Now it's going to give you a warning right at this time saying the palette has been modified. Do you wish to keep the original palette? Most of the time, that is going to be the answer of yes. Don't delete your healthy normal vital signs. Keep that around. And when you're building off of your previous palette, so when you have the palettes 1, 2, and 3 built, you definitely want to save those previous palettes. The only time you're going to select no is if you're making changes to one of the palettes and you want the palette to stay the same and you don't want duplicates of it. Now, keep in mind when you are running a scenario that if you make several palettes and you have a vital signs change that is done on the fly, that means in the middle of your scenario, your learners did something that you didn't expect, or that you want to change the vitals to, like the pulse, to something else because they did something. and you want the pulse to reflect that action, go ahead and make that change. However, keep in mind that if the next palette that comes up has a different pulse on it, then that pulse is going to change to whatever the palette said, not your on-the-fly change. So let's say in this scenario, we've got 3 palettes here. You notice the pulse changes from 95 to 190, and then your learners did something, and you changed the pulse to 126 because you thought that was the best pulse rate for what they did. Now, the next pulse that comes up on the next palette is still 160. So in the future, if you are going to be building a scenario and you know 100% that you're going to be changing that pulse based on whatever the learner did, then you may want to remove that vital sign from the palettes going further down. And you can do that. Remember, we can hit the little X button on that vital sign and remove it. There, this is the practice portion of palette building. So what I would like you to do at this time is go ahead and pause the presentation and hold the screen where it is right now and enter in all of these vital signs that I have on the left-hand side of the screen here. Go ahead and change things. If you like something else a different way, go ahead and change it to whatever you would like. It will give you the opportunity to practice entering a vital sign that's actually not on the screen, as well as practice saving. And just remember, do not delete the healthy resting vital signs. There is a way to get it back, which involves possibly reloading your uni, or just call me and I'll tell you what those resting vital signs were, or make your own. But anyway, I'll pause the presentation here and build your palette. Thank you for attending the first session for palette building. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me or email medical.com, and we'd be happy to assist. Thank you again, and have a great day.